Good morning, wonders of enlightenment. Let's hit the road running. Let's hit the narc dining. The narc dining doesn't work either because it's not the dark nining. Let's hit the dark shining. Good morning, says the sun to the night. And it says, I wish I ever knew you. I've been chasing you around the globe for eons. And I'm just not getting you. I talk to my friend the moon. But all the worlds the moon tells me about are outlandish and otherworldly, and yet they fascinate me to the degree that I forget I am sun and I imagine myself in the dark. I expand my light so far that only so few particles of me are around. They do not illuminate the vast lightlessness of space. And thus I imagine I know darkness, intimate like a lover, caressing its many facets with as little light as possible, so as not to disturb its divine stillness. When occasionally I get too excited and I bring too much light into the dark, I stir things up. I stir up the peace of the dark, and things get steamy. And we both are transformed, and something new is born. Relationship. We become beholden to each other. We become entangled. We become the forms of life we birth. Each one a dance of both of us. Some flowing calmly like a river, some violent, like exploding supernovas. Until one day we made a human. The first creature to shake its fist at its maker, to be displeased with itself, to be displeased with its reflection, to be displeased with what it not is. A very interesting creature. It took a long time to make it. It took a long time to make a being capable to not love love, to not choose joy, a version of the sun that could live completely in the dark and yet not be of the dark. A feat we're mighty proud of. As sons of sons, able to not know who we are, able to imagine, able to build, to create out of blindness, able to worship the unknown, able to be lost, or at least imagine to be lost, for nothing is ever lost. The sun is radiating photons and whatnots and whatnots. Each one of those, let's call them photons, is sun, always and forever. And the sun, to talk in human terms, knows itself, all of itself. It has not experienced time. There's no self that it was yesterday. There's no self that it will be tomorrow. There are photons that are particles of the sun, whether they're traveling, whether they are yet unborn, they are known and they are sun. And that is the closest to identity of sun. No matter how far out into space, what we call space, they travel, no matter whether that traveling by human standards started from the center of the sun gazillions of years ago. The particle is known by sun, as part of its identity now. It accounts for everything. Central sun, the great central source. There is but one, expressing as many. Yellow lunar sun. Second day in the wave spell of the blue storm. Transforming everything. That does not withstand the fire of consciousness, enlightenment. Light makes things visible. Do we want to be visible? Do we want to see? How is the sun the best friend of the storm? The challenge on the path of the storm. The sun stabilizes the lunar tone. Challenge. Wait, stabilize, polarize, stabilize, challenge. That's the sequence. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. The sun is one, and yet, like life, life has no opposite, but it has an opposite. God has no opposite polarity, and yet, in theory, it does. How much of us is theory? How much is truth? Moving from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. Have we already moved? When exactly is the date? Anybody knows it? Please let me know. I'm not going to ask ChatGPT, or maybe I will. The almighty, all-knowing, never-lying truth machine. Light, enlightenment. If the blue storm transcends in the blue monkey, the last seal in this wave, the cosmic tone, magic, play, illusion, the sun, the lunar sun, leads the way. Polarize, polarity, light and dark. Both are a part of us, knowing and not knowing, truth and untruth, real and false, natural and not natural, you and me, male and female, me and me, me and me and me and me, many, 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 me. We represent our own challenge, not them out there. What paradigm do we need to be fully free? And can we ever be? Is that a worthy goal? What does freedom mean? What does freedom mean? The blue storm represents freedom. Freedom, to some it means I can do what I want. I can lie on the couch all day, every day. I can eat only what I want and have no negative consequences. Na 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 na. To others, freedom means I get to reach every goal I ever have, and I'm prepared to work. The hard work that it might be required isn't hard work. It's joy work. I enjoy it and I see results. I do not need to get to do what I want when I want it. I'm perfectly content with some structure and some limitations to my freedom, for that ensures a greater freedom. What would we be liberated from? Our shadow? Or our idea that we should be liberated from our shadow? Verily I say unto you, the sun hath no shadow, for it radiates in all directions. Yet, those of us of ashes and dust cause shadow. Yet our inner sun neither has a shadow. The psychological shadow is but that that is part of ourselves that we do not acknowledge, that we have not integrated, that we have removed from ourselves, or in the world of self and other had forcefully removed from ourselves, or deemed in a childish set of mind, and I mean that in the best of terms, unsafe or futile. I am reminded of the man who was born premature and spent his first weeks of life in a growing box, in a grow box. It was called an incubator. And food came when it came. Affection came when it came. There was nothing he could do. Whether he cried or he didn't cry, it made no difference. Whether he wanted to be touched by the hands that touched him or he didn't, it made no difference. He learned never to ask for anything that he needs, that he cannot supply himself. And faithful to the lunar tone, that is an enormous strength, very, very stabilizing. And it also is a weakness. He would not see it that way. And it's my own judgment to see it that way. It is not a universal truth. So every situation can be seen in many different lights. The lunar sun is guided by the yellow human. Free will, influence, wisdom. The ability to hold directly opposing forces At the same time, the ability to just observe life, what it means to be you, what it's like to be you. I should rephrase that. What it means to be you is my analytical mind saying, what does it mean? How much do I have to learn to let go of this bloody analytical mind? My comfort zone, my best friend, instigator of all of my troubles, a playmate of note. We grow from our challenges to live a life avoiding them, to live any life avoiding them. And yet, when in childhood or in past lives, we make decisions because they were needed for survival at the time, they can have long, long lasting, far, far reaching effects. Many people have, especially old souls and light workers, have spent lifetimes as monks and nuns, have given vows to love the divine only, and are therefore struggling in lives where they are no longer beholden to those vows with partnership. Or we have made vows to love a certain soul forever, and we wonder why we struggle with different lovers. How do we break open the paradigms? Safely? Can we? Or would it be easier to say, you know what, when I break open this paradigm, all hell is going to break loose, because I'm going to have no way to know how to conduct myself. And it's okay, I'm going to learn. Like a child doesn't know how to use its body or the functions that it's capable of, it will learn them. Can we remember always, always, in part, to be that child, to enter new territory and not enter them knowing everything already, knowing we don't know anything, and not doubting that we can learn. If the storm comes to break any containers of the false self, the self is not rigid, it's not fixed. It is an ever self-experiencing, fluid thing, given that this thing lives in time, or does it? Oh, well, the dichotomy of being a human being, and we're still toddlers as humans. We are very, very new, at least this batch. And I'm not going to say this batch is a couple thousand years old only, or a couple 100,000 years old only. I don't really know. All I can see, obviously, is we're still in our diapers, spreading our poop everywhere just as soon as we get our hands on it, throwing our food around, throwing our toys out the cot, having no idea what's left and what's right, or up or down. And unfortunately, many of us are not even enjoying the process. But toddlerdom ends at some point when the toddlers, when the children don't get to grow up in a healthy way, in a balanced way. And many of us don't. The consequences are far-reaching and far-lasting, long-lasting. But they're never irreparable or irrevocable or not changeable. And if for a human the changes will not be made in this one, they'll go into another one. The yellow sun, universal fire, enlighten life. Its occult medicine is the dragon. Birth, nurture, being, primordial mother, the great nurturer of all of life, all of life. Life on the planet, life in the galaxy, life in this universe is a win-win. It never ends and it never begins, and yet we have located into a three-dimensional form with the ability to dislocate, with the ability to separate or imagine separation. I myself can frequently struggle with that sense of separation, as I know many of us do. The lunar sun would let us know that there are many selves, many seemingly separate selves, but they are not truly separate. Yet, to constantly want to merge back with Source, that is a magnetic pull. That is a natural thing to want. Yet the seeming separation is by no means a mistake. It is the only way for Source to know itself, to desire itself, to desire anything at all. Is to create the illusion to not have it. When you are everything, how do you do that? Well, we are it. We are the shit. I mean, did I say the other day the divine adores us? Oh, yes. We are worshipped. Worship is the wrong word again. And yet, somewhere we could use it. We are adored. We are loved for our ability to love, to desire, to ache, to be completely dismantled, to be completely reassembled, to block, to flow, to be all that we are. And would I ever invite us to celebrate all that we are, compassionately, even our uncompassion? It's a high call. I know. Forgiveness, not striving for perfection. What would that be but a prison to the imperfect soul? No, a prison to the mind, my friend. It is a mental prison. Everything is perfect. Yellow star, harmony, planetary in this wave spell. Just recognizing that everything is perfect. Just to our conditioned mind, it could occur that something is not perfect as it is. And that is perfect, that it can be so. I'm sitting here slightly cold and I'm shivering slightly, and I feel my body getting tense in the shivering process, and I'm thinking, is that how I get sometimes a little out of balance because I spend too much time in this tight body state, shivering? I'm consciously trying to stay very wide and relaxed and keep my blood vessels open and my muscles relaxed so that the blood can flow, even though wider blood vessels lose more warmth. And I am of an age where my body occasionally, for no apparent reason at all, pours fire into itself, and flushes itself with heat. So, like, come on, you know how to do it. Why freeze? Just do it. Keep this body warm. Steady fire. A steady fire. But would I choose a steady fire always? Oh no, I would not. I can celebrate my occasional bipolarity. Bipolar, is that the lunar tone? Bipolarity, two poles, stabilizing. Bipolarity, being bipolar, becomes not stable when we haven't figured out how to stabilize the extremes. And many of us who know bipolarity have a hard time letting that go, because to us the alternative, to be somewhere dulling around the center, is like boring. There's no motion, there's no friction, there's no earthquakes, there's no destruction, there's no power, there's no universes colliding, there's no Bipolarity is, I mean, really, you have to learn. If you want to be bipolar, you just have to learn how to stabilize in that extreme. And it's absolutely doable. What paradigm would you have to adopt to understand it's doable? And why would you want to do it? Personally, there's a downside to bipolarity. It's very good and well to want the high. Higher than higher, than higher than high. But you have to be able to take that other side. So you're either going to learn to handle the other side, or what? Think of something new. Eagle, blue eagle. In the world Bridger Wave spell, the eagle is planetary. Manifest, produce, perfection. Da, 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 da. Did I say there's no perfection? Look again. There is no perfection, but there is perfection. And there is definitely perfecting. Like, what was that Roosevelt saying? I find planning indispensable, but plans quite useless. In battle, at least. Ow. Oh, my legs. Ay, 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 ay. All right, so vision, the eagle, the planetary eagle, to have a vision of the planetary star. How to balance. It's all about balance. Then we can go seesawing as I mean, we are the center. Then we can let our seesaw sides be as wide as, imagine, 3,000 light years to the left and 3,000 light years to the right, centered on Earth. Tell me what that seesaw would be like. Whew. Hold on. Hold on. And you need a sparring partner, because if you're sitting on the one side of that seesaw, you're either going to be stuck up there or stuck down there. You need one of equal value to seesaw with you. And if they're not of equal value, they need to sit further out. One of you needs to sit further out, and one of you needs to sit further in. And that's okay. That's how it works. What does it take? The best friend of the yellow sun is the blue storm. Right here we are. And tomorrow, sun for 3 days in a row, life, supporting its own transformation, always, unconditionally, irrevocably, always. There's nothing the free will can do about that. Life is always supporting life. Death is not the absence of life support. Get that? It's transition, it's transformation. I mean, imagine if you had to sit there with your cup of coffee half empty forever and ever and ever. What the fuck? Could you drink it? What if you could drink it, but it would never empty? You'd just be sitting there drinking. You would never get to drink anything else. You would never get to eat. You'd never get to move. Change is necessary. But while we are here, let's rock this ride. Let's rock this ride. And every now and then it's going to get cold, dark, tight, uncomfortable. We just have to walk through it. And maybe we just don't have to leave each other alone in it. Maybe we don't have to walk alone through it. Maybe we need to really come to learn and realize we are not alone. One of the issues I have, I've spoken about this before, when alone, when in a dark place and someone just slams me with too much light, it might look as if, yeah, that's what you need here, light, 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 light. Look, you're not alone. Look, there's no problem here. You're fine. Ding, 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 ding. Really, for me, that's like I recoil from that. Come softly. Join me in the dark. That's the way to let me know I'm not alone. When you bring your light, the parts of me that are dark, that they can't come. They're scared of the light, whatever the case may be. Sometimes when someone is not in a good place, just be with them in that not good place. No advice offered unless they're asking for it. Just hold their hand. Because if your light bails them out, they have not yet learned how to come out of that dark by themselves. And that is a process. Autogeneration, the storm. And they may not be ready to leave that place. They may have to find the center of the storm. Just hold someone's hand till they can breathe and find their breath. Sometimes it's just the best we can do. But I'm not here to dish out advice, certainly not today. I'm feeling very sunny today. Who else do we have as our musketeers? The white dog, antipode, love, heart, loyalty. Furthest away from the sun. How to unconditionally love the storms, the transitions, the transformations, when we're threshed and thrown about, when it's so awful, we just want to die, we don't want to live. How to maintain, how to love that, how to love the pain, how to love it when our body puts us through hell, how to love it when our mind puts us through hell. Is love the answer and the medicine? How to get there from there? How to love fear? How to be in love with ourselves? How to love past all the criticism and all the judgment? How to love the ugly? How to love the bad? How to love the judgments that we so freely dish out around the world? How to be free from judgment, free from the need to love? How to just be light? Love is one of those words, like worship, like problem, like I could think of a few others. They're so, I mean, there's so much issues inside the word, so many different meanings. It can be such a trigger. So many people are afraid of love, afraid to be loved. So many people do not consider love a safe thing, and they may not even be aware of that. Relationships, the deeper, the stronger the love, often the more they serve to bring out our shadow. Because to do the shadow work in relationship requires very, very strong bonds. They require very strong bonds so that we don't fly apart, so that we can fly apart in other ways, but be bonded in other ways, supported, nurtured through the process when we fall apart, when love comes to heal its own wounds. And many of us don't understand that. So when the process starts, they leave the lover. And when they do that enough times, they either stop inviting love, nurturance, they stop, or they become conditional in love, only wanting the fun parts of it. As soon as it gets difficult, they're gone. It's a choice we can make. Sometimes it's the wiser choice. Sometimes it's not. How do we know? Who do we trust? Who do we model ourselves on? How do we do it? Red dragon, yellow sun, blue storm, white wind, blue night, yellow seed, red serpent, white world bridger, blue hand, yellow star, red moon, white dog, blue monkey, yellow human, red skywalker, white wizard, blue eagle, yellow warrior, red earth, white mirror, blue storm, yellow sun, red dragon, white wind, blue night. They will tell us. Each one has a different answer. Go take your pick. Nobody said it would be easy. But we all knew it would be fun. We came here by choice. Yes, we did. Yellow human, free choice. Nobody came here by not choice. And we came here knowing that it would be interesting to be here. Polarize, stabilize, challenge. Yellow sun, universal fire, enlighten life. Passion. Passion is not balanced by passion. fire is not, yeah, well, wow, how fire can be put out with fire. Forest fires are put out with other fires. Yeah, everyone would tell you a different answer. So we can seek the answer inside ourselves, and we may be aware that once we find an answer to a question, that answer may not apply to the same question on another day. We may have to ask again. We may have to seek again. We may be surprised. We may be free and open. We may be light. We may be dense. We may be very polarized. We may be stable in our, we are stable in our polarity. And when we thresh about unstably, well then so be it. Then we are in storm mode. And maybe not the eye of the storm. Maybe still finding the center. Maybe still finding the center. I wish us a beautiful wave spell. This wave spell may be, we may either experience the storm head on, full on, or we may just learn about it enough. But you know, we can learn all about this thing. Until we've experienced it, we don't know anything. It's learning by doing. The Tolkien is learning by doing. It's not theory. You learn it by experiencing, as everything else. It makes sense once we've tasted it, once we've felt it, once we've touched it, once we've been touched by it. We ingest it. The body is such a perfect metaphor. I mean, if it were enough to eat a delicious food once, if it were enough to eat it ever only once, to eat anything only once, no. We have to keep repeating that thing. I mean, why? Because we are a process. We're not a being. We are a verb. Was it? Deepak Chopra, can we give the man a break? I mean, whatever. Why do we want to idolize people and put them onto pedestals? And when it turns out that maybe they're not as at all perfect, you know, but why do we believe everything we hear? Anyway, whatever the case may be around the man, I don't know if it was him who coined this phrase, and I love it. Nouns are verbs. Things are processes. A piano is a verb. Piano is a verb. It is being. It is pianoing. The chair is chairing. My coffee is coffeeing. It's a process. It's a constant. We don't even have a word for what that is. I am a verb. Tatiana is a process. And whatever I am experiencing moment by moment, breath by breath, the process and processing of Tatiana. And it isn't always fun for her. For me it is, I guess. I don't know. Is it or isn't it? How many are we? Ooh, soul sharing. Shall we talk about soul sharing? No, not today. Let's not make complicated matters more complicated. I wish us a beautiful wave spell. I wish us to always. There's something I learned from my birth mama, Ron, who gave me my first reading in the Maya signs. And I learned that it's easy for me to feel my light in a bombastic way when it's full power or anything close to it. It's like, yeah, wow. It's the one photon light that's harder to detect, that's harder to know, that's harder to, it's when light hides in the dark, to know the dark, or whatever the case may be. I can now tell a story. I like telling stories, but it's my own softest, quietest frequency that is not giving me palpitations, that is not giving me extreme sensations in any direction, when there's nothing. The seeming void, the center of stillness, the smallest, quietest, the smallest sensation of my own existence that I can have, my own frequency, and I'm not talking about my body. That's much harder to find for me, much harder to hold, and much closer to discomfort. It's very easy for a part of me to feel as though I'm losing myself or my center, as if I'm not feeling myself, because the self ends up perhaps not any longer being a self in that place. And from the perspective of self and perhaps ego in terms of sense of self, that could be experienced as very threatening. And yet, when I can't find my peace there, all myself is not grounded in peace. Whatever stronger frequencies come out of that, they may be closer to the illusion the blue monkey teaches us about than the truth that white mirror and yellow sun would teach us about. And I don't want to pass any judgment, because at the end of the day, all illusion is also true within its own context. If it didn't check out somewhere, somehow, relative to any other thing, we'd know. But even as children can absolutely play games, knowing very well they're just playing a game now, taking on a character or actors. There's an awareness, but there's also a full commitment to the game. To have that awareness of our lives, for me, that would be, that's one of my eagle visions. I forget it easily, take myself too seriously, make my life too real. It's all a game we're playing. Forgetfulness. We're so committed to our characters, so committed to our parts. And how not to lose your balance when you come out of that. Yeah. It's a process, Best enjoy it. Like my cold coffee. Gotta get ready. Got a day waiting for me. There's a day waiting for us. There is a day waiting for us. It's just sitting there in superposition saying, what decisions are you going to make? What decisions are you going to make? What decisions are you going to make? Who are you going to be? What you going to be? What you going to think? What you going to feel? What you going to do? How you going to interact? Who you going to interact with? What you going to do? 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 And you know what? It's the eternal horizon. There is always 24 hours ahead of you. Always. Even when you die. But always. And you never get there. Because like a dangling carrot, we're chasing time, we're chasing the day, we're chasing the dollar, we're chasing the lover, We're chasing the safe space. We're running from love. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? A watched kettle doesn't boil. Atoms watched in superposition can't collapse. Oh, note to self. Note to self. Okay. Oh, damn. I mean, double damn. Lunar sun. Goosebumps. I gotta build some muscle. And for the first time, it's not true. It's not the first time in my life, but I want to say for the first time in my life, I mean, old as I am, I'm learning to look forward to some of the things I've always been afraid of. And you know, if I can tell myself maybe I will always be afraid of something, the end goal is not the loss of shadow. There will always be more shadow to integrate. There will always be more life to live. And maybe one day there will not be more shadow to integrate. Then there will only be, I don't know what, but it doesn't matter because right now I'm here. And right now there is shadow to integrate. There still definitely is shadow to integrate. There definitely is muscle to build. There definitely is a version of myself to become that is gonna want to become. And I want to be someone who wants to become. I always want to become. That is a much nicer place, handling desire, instead of saying, sulk, I want to die, can't have what I want, go away. I want love, I'm afraid of love, can't have it. And God is like, what? I'm right here. Are you hearing me? No, you're not. I'm in your softest frequency. You're making so much noise, screaming my name. You can't hear me. You can't feel me. I'm right here. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. Oh, no, 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 no. Not happening at all. Oh, no, 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 no. Compassion. Faith. Faith? Knowing. Trust. Red dragon. It's not about blind faith. But sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. And you know what? It's all right. Okay, now I gotta go. All right. I choose to go. I choose to place my attention elsewhere. I got a day waiting for me. Have I said that already? And so do you. Enjoy it. And if you don't, be compassionate with yourself. Pour yourself a cup of tea and say, you know what? Dude, you're all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This too will change. Find something to love. Anything. Your little toe. Suck it if you can get there. Play with yourself. Have some fun. Feel alone and say, oh my God, thank God. Imagine I'm surrounded by people all of the time. I couldn't be doing any of this. Tomorrow is another day. Okay. Love yourself. And then let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh.